time is 6:15. Here is the news, edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Victor Raj. Here are the headlines of the local news. The government informs the Supreme Court that there is no change in the policy decision not to implement the death penalty. Flood threats occur in several divisional secretariats areas of the Ratnapura district. Flood warnings issued for 7 districts. A new circular issued to calculate leave taken by state employees during the pandemic. It has been emphasized that interim budget includes measures for social justice. Operations of the Lotus Tower will begin on the 15th of next month. Foreign news, Russia shuts a major gas pipeline to Europe. Sports news, the coach says Sri Lanka cricket team will bounce back against Bangladesh. Local news in detail. The Attorney General has informed the Supreme Court that there is no change in the government's policy decision not to implement the death penalty. Former President Maithripala Sirisena has decided to implement the death penalty on 4 accused charged for drug offences in 2019. A fundamental rights petition has been filed in Supreme Court requesting to nullify the decision. When the petition was called today, the Additional Solicitor General appearing on behalf of the Attorney General informed the Supreme Court that there is no change in government policy. The petition was taken before Supreme Court Justice Vijit Maralgoda, LTB Dehidenia and Murdu Fernando. The Department of Irrigation says that considerable floods could occur in the low-lying areas near Kalu River in the Ratnapura district. The department said the floods could affect Palmadulla, Nivitigala, Ratnapura, Kuruvita, Ayagama and Alapathe Divisional Secretariat areas. It has requested the people in the area and the drivers of the vehicles that pass through those roads to be cautious. Hydrology and Disaster Management Director SLBC Sugiswara said that this situation could occur during next 24 hours. Meanwhile, the Building Research Organisation has issued landslide warning to Colombo, Galle, Kalutara, Kandy, Kagala, Mathale and Ratnapura districts. Meanwhile, the Disaster Management Centre said that the 4 sluice gates of the Daduru Oil Reservoir were opened 2 feet each after having rains. The Disaster Management Centre has requested people in low-lying areas to be vigilant. Security forces are on standby to face any disaster situation with the prevailing heavy showers. They have stationed troops and flights to rescue people who may be affected by floods and landslides. Air Force media spokesman Group Captain Dushan Vijay Singh said that Air Force personnel are also on standby for any situations and to provide relief. A new methodology has been introduced to calculate leave taken by state employees under the concessionary program implemented during the COVID pandemic. The Ministry of Public Administration has issued the circular. Secretary to the Ministry Priyantha Mayadunne said the circular was issued on the instructions of Prime Minister Dinesh Gunawardena. The government has taken steps to maintain state services as usual at present. The debate on the second reading of the appropriation bill was held in Parliament today. Taking part in the debate, Minister Nimal Siripala de Silva said that the interim budget includes proposals for social justice, irrespective of party politics. He said that exports have increased as a result of the government's programs. He further said that the President should be supported for the measures taken to overcome the situation. The Minister said there are no sufficient storage facilities for aviation fuel and necessary solutions are being provided. MP Satsanaga said that the state institutions should be restructured to bring the economy into the correct path. He said that steps should be taken to build the economy without burdening the people. Taking part in the debate, Minister Ramesh Patirana said that facilities will be provided for industrialists to get all raw materials. He said that steps will be taken to get state and private institutions rather investments for industries that can be developed. Taking part in the debate, MP Rohana Bandar said it is not sufficient to write a farmer's loan to rescue the farming community from the difficulties they are facing. He said the people will be further burdened with the increase of VAT. Minister Nalin Fernandez said that a special attention will be paid to develop fisheries, livestock and agriculture sectors. MP Partali Champikaranavaka said that management of institutions should be audited. He pointed out that an evaluation process should be introduced to the state sector. This news comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Continuing with more local news. Operations of Lotus Tower will commence on the 15th of next month. It is considered to be the tallest building in South Asia. More than $110 million have been spent to construct the building. The loan installments are expected to be paid back completely by 2024. Nearly $70 million taken as loans have been paid. The Lotus Tower private company commenced in March under the Treasury. The Auditor General's Department audit all transactions of the company. The Chief Administrative Officer of the company is retired Major General Prasad Samarasinghe. He said that 80% local and 20% foreign investors have come forward to invest in the tower. Discussions have been held with 58 investors and 22 out of them have expressed willingness to sign agreements. Two persons who were transporting about 10 kilograms of crystal methamphetamine or ice in Mana area have been apprehended by Sri Lanka Army today. The suspects and the drugs were taken into custody during a search at an army roadblock en route to Wankale from Talemannar. It is reported that the seized drugs are worth about 150 million rupees. The suspects are residents of Mana and Talemannar areas aged 32 and 34 years. The Colombo Stock Exchange showed significant improvement today as the all-share price index gained 205.92 points to close at 9,071.32 points. This is an increase of 2.32%. Meanwhile, the S&P Sri Lanka 20 index also moved up by 66.22 points to close at 2,928.97 points at the end of trading today, which is an increase of 2.31%. Today's market turnover was 4.25 billion rupees. Secretary to the Ministry of Tourism, W. Chulananda Perera, says that the tourism industry is reviving again. Speaking during a media briefing today at the Government Information Department, he said that the new tourism policy will be presented to the Cabinet next week. He said the shortcomings in this sector had been rectified in the new policy and plans for development of the industry will be connected with technology. The Agriculture Department has planned to cultivate all paddy fields in the Maha season. The department said there is sufficient quantity of water in the tanks to cultivate paddy lands in the Maha Valley and minor irrigation schemes. Minister Mahinda Amaraveera said today that there is a good environment for cultivation in the country. Meanwhile, steps have been taken to distribute urea fertilizer given under the World Bank assistance in the first week of November to farmers. That ends local news.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Meteorology Department said today a red alert for heavy downpour has been issued for 20 districts. They said with the low-level atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka, fairly heavy rainfall of more than 150 millimeter could be expected in some places in western, southern, Sabaragamuwa, central and Uva provinces. The department requests the people living in hilly slopes and low-lying areas adjacent to the river basins to be vigilant. Motorists who are using the roads in the hilly areas and along the slopes are cautioned to be vigilant and watchful against underlying dangers caused by the lightning, landslides, fallen trees, rock slips and power lines. That ends main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
National Water Supply and Drainage Board has announced an 18-hour water cut will be in effect in Colombo and its suburbs from 8 a.m. Saturday, September 3rd till 2 a.m. on Sunday, September 4th. The Water Board said Colombo, Tehivala, Mount Lavinia, Sri Javadapura Kotte, Kaduvela municipality areas, Maharagama, Borlaskamuwa, Kolonnava municipality areas, Kotikawat, Mulleriava, Ratmalana and Katubedda will be affected. That ends Watchlight.
A Strength to Your Life. CIB Janajaya Vasana has commenced. Valuable gifts and all bills are on 31st of October. Come to CIB today.
Moving on to world news, headlines first. Russia shuts a major gas pipeline to Europe. Taiwan fires live rounds at drones near outlying islands. Trump's Truth Social barred from Google Play. World news in detail. Russia has completely halted gas pipelines to Europe via a major pipeline, saying repairs are needed. The Russia state-owned energy giant Gazprom said the restrictions on the Nord Stream 1 pipeline would last for the next 3 days. Russia has already significantly reduced gas exports via the pipeline. It also rejects accusations of using energy supplies as a way to punish Western nations for imposing sanctions over the invasion of Ukraine. Taiwan has fired warning shots for the first time to drive back drones that flew over its outlying islands near China. Taiwan's defense minister said the 3 drones were seen flying back towards the Chinese mainland. Taipei has in recent weeks complained of Chinese drones flying close to its islands near the Chinese mainland. Cross-strait tensions remains high after U.S. politician Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan early this month. Former U.S. President Donald Trump's social media platform has been banned from Google Play. Google says the platform violates its policies on prohibiting content like physical threats and incitements to violence. The move makes it difficult for users with Android phones to download the app. Devin Nunes, the CEO of the Truth Social, has previously called Google a monopoly. To wrap up the world news, let's take a look at the headlines. Russia shuts a major gas pipeline into Europe. Taiwan fires live rounds at drones near outlying islands. Trump's Truth Social barred from Google Play. That ends world news. Moving on to development news. Bank of Ceylon recently entered into an exclusive partnership with the Sabaragamuwa University of Sri Lanka to promote digital payment facilities through the bank's online payment gateway. As a result of this exclusive partnership in promoting digital payment facilities, both local and international undergraduate and postgraduate degree applicants of the university will be to settle their course fees digitally. That ends development news. Sports news is brought to you by
Sampath Bank. We present your future.
Cricket news. Sri Lankan team head coach Chris Silverwood said that he is confident that the Sri Lankan team will come back strongly to win the Bangladesh game. He said the first game against Afghanistan was an eye-opener for Sri Lankan team, and they have to adjust to the conditions and come back strongly. Sri Lanka team is also expected to make a few changes for the Bangladesh game, which is scheduled to be played tomorrow at the Dubai International Cricket Stadium. That ends sports news.
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Airtel Lanka, in partnership with the National Institute of Mental Health, announced a major expansion of the 1926 mental health helpline to now include a dedicated WhatsApp service. National Institute of Mental Health's senior consultant psychiatrist Dr. Pushpa Rana Singh said anyone in the need of mental health assistance can now reach NIMH's mental health helpline via WhatsApp number 075 555 1926. That ends Business News.
Business News, sponsored by
Cash through NSP globally and win wonderful gifts locally. Will you be the lucky winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee? 50 gold sovereigns for the top prize winner of the NSP Golden Jubilee. Scooters for the 10 second prize winners. iPhones for the 10 third prize winners. Mountain bikes for the 29 fourth prize winners. From October 1st, 2021 to December 31st, 2022. Remit a minimum of $100 or an equivalent amount in any foreign currency 3 times through NSB U Trust.
Economic news, courtesy of...
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001. Is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
Earnings from the merchandise exports increased by 2.25% year-on-year to $1,128.7 million in July 2022, as per the data released by the Sri Lanka Customs. This was mainly due to the increase in earnings from the export of apparel and textiles. The estimated value of services exports for the period of January to July 2020 was $1,146 million. Exports of the apparel and textile increased by 21.55% year-on-year to $550.05 million in July 2022. The increase was driven by both apparel and textiles. That ends Economic News.
LOLC Finance is taking the power of innovation to the next level, winning 5 golds at the Technovation Awards 2022, leading the digital revolution with cutting-edge interbanking digital payments. LOLC Finance claims the overall gold award, whilst also claiming an extraordinary victory in digital banking. LOLC Finance will continue to innovate with the next generation digitalization of financial services, delivering a superior customer experience.
Moving on to weather report, the Met Department says there is a low-level atmospheric disturbance in the vicinity of Sri Lanka. Therefore, cloudy skies will prevail over the southern half of the island. Showers or thundershowers will occur at times over most parts of the island. Very heavy showers above 150 millimeter may occur at some places in western, southern, Samarkand, central and Ubud provinces. Heavy showers about 100 millimeter can be expected at some places elsewhere. That ends weather report. To wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka, let's take a look at the headlines once again. The government informs the Supreme Court that there is no change in the policy decision not to implement the death penalty. Flood threats occur in several divisional secretariats areas of the Ratnapura district. Flood warnings issued for 7 districts. A new circular issued to calculate leave taken by state employees during the pandemic. It has been emphasized that interim budget includes measures for social justice. Operations of the Lotus Tower will begin on the 15th of next month. Foreign news, Russia shuts a major gas pipeline to Europe. Sports news, the coach says Sri Lanka cricket team will bounce back against Bangladesh. With that, we wrap up the evening news on Radio Sri Lanka.